everyone and good day. Welcome back to Research Methodology course. Today, we're gonna look at topic 2, which is planning a research study. So the learning outcomes of this lecture, at the end of this class, a student should able to find research questions and a relevant research topic. Let's look at subtopic 1, steps in planning a research study. Okay, what is the steps to plan a research? Okay, so let's look at the first step. Okay, the first step is to formulate a research problem. You need to identify what is your interest and then do some exploration on the subject that you are interested into. Then you need to formulate a research problem from the subject area. Okay, and then after that, you need to do conceptualizing a research design. So you need to identify what is the research design that you want to do. Is it using the quantitative or qualitative and so on, right? And then after that, you need also to construct instrumentation, experimental setup, testing procedures, and data collection. You need to find, what is the instrumentation that you need to use, for your research. What is the setup, what the experimental setup, what is the procedure, what is the software, and then what kind of data collection that you need to collect, for the research. So you need to identify all that. And then after that, what you need to do is, the next step is to write a research proposal. To write a research proposal, you need to complete step 1 until step 3. Right. After you do a research proposal, then you need to carry out the research by doing experimental work, or by doing simulation, or by collecting data from the field, by doing survey and so on, right? And then the next step is after you carry out the experiments and then do simulation, for sure you will get a set of data. When you have the set of data, you need to process the data and also analyze the data, right? And then finally, from the data, and also from the analysis of the data, you need to report all the outcomes or the findings that you get from your research. So the next one is actually which is the final process of research, which is writing a research report. So a research report can be written in a form of research paper or technical paper or thesis. So these are the forms of the report that you can write. So usually for final year student, you need to do technical paper and also FYP thesis. So that's the steps in planning a research study. Let's look at structure of typical research project. What is the typical research project? What is the structure? The first one is you need to review your subject area or your interest area to find problem area. And then you need to investigate the problem, and then define the research problem. After you define your research problem, so you need to do a study on the background of the theoretical of the study area. Also investigate relevant research method for the research problem. Okay, what is the research method to solve the research problem? And then after that, you need to also do the proposal. Okay, to explain the research project and also the timeline of your research. Okay, after you prepare your proposal, okay, you need to go through a approval session. Okay, to go through a approval session. Okay, some call research defense proposal. Okay, so you need in the research defense proposal there are several examiners, okay, that will evaluate your proposal. Okay, and then from the evaluation, okay, and also the comments from the examiner, you need to improve your proposal accordingly. Okay, and then you can continue you can continue your research, okay, to the next level. Okay, so let's look at the next step after the approval of the proposal. So you need to start to carry out a detailed research background of your study. Okay, and also to refine the research problem. And you also need to do some write up for your research background, and then explore methods for the data collection and analysis. Okay, you need to explore more detail on the methods that you want to carry out for your study, and also data collection and data analysis. Part of that, okay, you need also to describe, okay, how does the research method that you want to use, okay, to describe it more detail. After you have identified the methods, you carry out the research, you will get the data and then compile the data and analyze the data. After the analysis of the data, so you need to do the report by writing up a report, by writing up the outcomes of the research that you have already obtained, by writing up the findings that you obtain from your research, and then draw conclusion of your research. After that, you can disseminate the results. Okay, if you can give others to read your thesis. If you publish your research work, so you can give people your overview on your research, okay, the findings of your research, and then this will indicate the areas that need further studies, and then for sure, if you get the outcomes, probably there are improvement that are needed, requires others to further the study. This cycle will continues until the research problem totally solved. What is the research problem? Okay, we have talked about research problem previously, okay, in the previous slide. So what is the research problem? Okay, so someone who want to carry out a research, they need to find a research problem which is related to the question or an unresolved controversy, or a gap in knowledge, okay, or an unanswered need. Okay, so that means these are the research problem that you need to find, whether the area that you are interested into, what is the question in the area, okay, what is the unresolved controversy in the area, and also what is the gap in knowledge of the area. Okay, the research of research problem, okay, requires an awareness of current issues in the chosen subject and an inquisitive mind. So you need to do some study okay, to explore your research interest, find what is the research problem in the area. Let's look at research questions. So research questions are questions related to your topics that need to be answered. So thus the whole purpose of your research to provide answers to the question. Okay, so when you have the research questions, your research, okay, or your study that you want to carry out will find the answer of the research question. So that is your activity of your research. Okay, a good research question needs to be specific, okay, address an important and relevant issues, okay, novel and also practical, which is can be operationalized and assessed. Okay, so that means a good research question can be assessed and evaluated. Yeah, and then within a reasonable scope, within a reasonable area for your research. Okay, so how to develop research questions? Okay, the first step is actually to choose a broad topic. Okay, a broad topic of your research area. Okay, do some preliminary reading on the topic. Okay, to find out the research problem. Okay, and then you narrow down to a specific niche and then identify a research problem. Okay, and then identify a research problem. Okay, so the final one is after you identifying your research problem, okay, you need to write research questions. Okay, so this can be summarized in this triangle. Okay, first, okay, you need to get a broad topic and then narrow down to a very specific topic and then focus down to the niche area. Okay, and then find out the problem and then write research questions. There are 3 examples of research will be given in the whole course, okay, that will be used. So there are 3 examples of research that will be given in the whole course. The first example is examples on the experimental based research, okay, modeling and simulation based research, okay, and then case study research. So we will use this design of research in the following topics. Okay, let's look at formulating a research question for example number 1. The first steps is actually we need to find a general topic of your interest area. Okay, so your for example in this study, in the first study, okay, the interest topic area is on the renewable energy, and then you need to browse a few literature for ideas on the biomass because renewable energy is very broad. Okay, it may cover biomass, what is the renewable energy. Yeah, okay, you can read about biomass, hydropower, geothermal, solar, wind, marine energies, and other alternative energy sources. Okay, biomass source of energy, okay, and others. So, and then you narrow down, okay, if you can see here, there are a lot of renewable energies. You need to narrow down to a specific questions after you browsing a few literature, okay, on the renewable energy, and you need to select the niche area that you want to study. For example, we choose biomass, okay, biomass energy sources. Okay, so you narrow down to a specific questions on the biomass. What types of waste can be used for biomass energy production? Okay, what is the amount of waste, production and availability? And then what is the technology or process involved for energy production? And then you narrow down further because this one is actually quite general questions, yeah, and then you narrow down it further questions. Okay, so what is the process involved to produce biohydrogen? Because biomass energy production can be biomethane or biohydrogen or biofuels or others, so you need to detail it more. Okay, what do you want to focus? Okay, is it biofuels, biohydrogen, or biomethane? So in this study, they want to study more on the biohydrogen and biomethane. Okay, so that's why the research question is the what is the process involved to produce biohydrogen and biomethane from food waste. Okay, and then the second question is what is the suitable microorganism used for biohydrogen and biomethane, okay, production from the food waste. Okay, so the first one, they want to know what is the process that can produce biohydrogen and biomethane, and then what is the suitable microorganism that used for biohydrogen and biomethane production. And then finally, the question is on the optimal conditions for biohydrogen and biomethane production from food waste. What is the optimal condition? Okay, so this is how we formulate a research questions. Okay, let's look at topic 3. How do you want to construct a research title? Okay, what kind of elements that research title need to have? Okay, so a research title should have a clear and precise words. Okay, and then no ambiguous or confusing words, sufficient detail of what you are doing, and then sufficient details such as places, organization, and subjects which is used in your study, sufficient details on what you are doing, and then use appropriate phrases to specify the nature of the investigation, such as differences between, relationship of, and quantify. Okay, these are the examples. Yeah, you may use other words, okay, or other phrases that is suitable for your research. Right. So let's look at an example of research titles. Okay, the first example is a study on odor from leachate. Okay, this is actually not a good research title. Because of what? Because it is very, very general. The second one is a study investigating odor from landfill leachate. Okay, this is not a good title, but not actually a bad title either. And then the third one, which is the relationship between odor and the presence of sulfurous hydrocarbons in landfill leachate sample at Undang Landfill, Rawang. Okay, if you look at this title, this title has the elements that a good title should have. Okay, it has some phrases that showing what they want to focus on, which is they want to focus on the relationship between odor and the presence of sulfurous hydrocarbons, and also state the study location, okay, which landfill that they want to study on. So these are a complete elements of a good research title. Yeah. So let's look at a title for example for project number 1. So project number 1, the title is on biohydrogen and biomethane production from food waste in a two-stage anaerobic digestion process with digested recirculation. There is stating that what does the work that they want to do in the research. Okay, so they want to do the hydrogen and methane production from food waste, using what process, and also using the digested circulation. Okay, so this one is also a very good research title. And then let's look at title number 2, the dominant climate change event for salinity intrusion in the GBM Delta. Okay, this is the activities that they want to use in the research to identify the dominant climate change event for salinity intrusion. Where is the location? The research location is in the GBM Delta. Okay, so this is also a good research title. The third title is for the project 3 is on the first record of tropical storm Pabuk January 2019. Okay, damage on shallow water reef in Pulau Bidong, south of South China Sea. It's actually on reporting the damage on the shallow water reef in Pulau Bidong. So they want to do a research on what is the damage, okay, on the shallow water reef in Pulau Bidong. So this is the location of the study. Okay, so this is also a good research title. So you can compare, okay, which one is not a good title and also a good title. I hope you will be able to construct a good research title in your study. Okay, that's all everyone for today. Thank you for listening. So see you on the next topic. Bye.